time is the most valuable resource in the universe because it advances irreversibly. And every year we have to count again. Oh, I'm 45, I'm 46, I'm 47, and so forth. The thing that happens in the world that we live in is that we are also running around in circles like the earth. Those who are young are trying to acquire something with their time. They are trying to acquire experience with time. They are trying to acquire or accumulate wealth with time. And what I mean by with time is that they are working. They are spending their lives working to accumulate wealth. And at some point, some people succeed in accumulating wealth. Then at that point, it depending on the kind of work they have, basically seeing themselves doing, they could, change directions in that circle and start pursuing the accumulation of honor. Because when you have accumulated wealth or money, then the question becomes, are you respected? So people want to buy chieftaincy titles. People want certain accolades. They want awards. They want certain labels on their professional titles. Head of this, director of that. Having money doesn't seem to be enough anymore, right? They start wanting to accumulate honor with money. Some people are running in the other direction. They have spent a lot of time accumulating honor. Maybe they have built a company. Maybe they have done some social work. Maybe they have made some impact. The other day, somebody ran from South Africa to England. At some point in their lives, they begin to ask, what does it mean in terms of value, in terms of money? And if we bring it down to the basics, especially in our part of the world, as you get older, in your 40s, in your 50s, people want to know what you have achieved. And what you have achieved is typically interpreted in terms of whether you've been able to build houses, whether you've been able to raise your children, whether you've made any monetary contribution to society. So time allows us to measure how far you've come. So every year somebody wants to know. I come from the Igbo tribe in Nigeria, and one of the things that happens at this time of the year is that people go home. People go to their hometown. Some people go to start building their houses. Some people go and they distribute a lot of money, right, to show that they are doing well in the city. Some go for, and then they see people. They basically show, yes, you sent me off from here, and this is how I'm doing. Essentially, we run around looking for money with time, looking for honor with money, and sometimes we run back around again, putting in more time to gain more money, to gain more honor. Time, money, and honor. In Africa, we tend to be very spiritual. And our mothers and fathers, when they send us off into the world, they pray for us. They are asking God to make us successful. They are asking God to help us so that when we come back to the hometown, we do not put them to shame. Because honor is very important to them. So they want us to do well. So they pray for us to do well. You see, I happen to be a Christian, and one of the things I have learned in the Christian construct is that godliness is not a means to gain. It's a very unpopular position to take, because every system in this world expects that after you've spent some time, you must have accumulated value, and value in this world is measured in money, right? And most of the time, honor is allocated to you based on the money that you have. Most of the time. And even when honor is not allocated to you based on the money you have, after honor is allocated to you, maybe you become a professor, maybe you've discovered something, people expect that you have the equivalent of the money. And that is why you see people on social media, they'll say, oh, he did such and such and such, and he's now living in a hut. Or he was a very brilliant actor, for example, now he can't pay his hospital bills. So when you evaluate it, at the end of the day, the measure is money. The measure is money. But you see, like I said, in my Christian construct philosophy, being close to God does not necessarily mean that you are going to be wealthy. Now that brings a big dilemma in the reality of our humanity. A big dilemma. Because while you're trying to do all you can to please God, to walk with God, there is that expectation that somehow God should bless you. And blessing is again measured by money. So in the Strategy Club, one of the things we try to do is to allow people or call the attention of our members to the fact that while money is critically important, we do not acquire it simply by praying or by calling on God, because there is a way things work in this universe, and there is a way things work on this planet. I speak not as an expert, I speak as an observer, one who is watching the unfolding of things and interpreting them based on my frameworks of thinking. Interpreting them and saying, look, the mechanisms for whatever you call success in this world, they are known, they are reproducible, and they are not as simplistic as we may think. They are not as simplistic as we may think. Success may be for you the ability to accumulate money with time. Success may be for you the ability to make a certain impact that brings you honor. Success may be for you the achievement of explicit set out goals. But whatever it is, the truth is there is a way things work in this world, and those who have worked them out have followed some of these basic principles. Whether it is the principle of planning or taking of focus, taking up a position, or resilience or hard work, right? Whether it's the principle of relationships, those elements and more are, things that are explicit in their expression in the lives of those whom we look up to as successful people. Now, if some people have an advantage because of things they had no control over, for example, where they were born, who their father is, which city they grew up in, what school they went to, some already have an advantage, right? But the truth is, if we want to come anywhere close to where those people are in terms of what we may term success, then we must be able to reproduce something close to what they have intentionally. Strategy is about taking up a position that amplifies the probability of your advantage to achieve success, or whatever you think it means, and to achieve that success in the context of competition in the world. In the world that we are in, when you go to your village as an Igbo man today, there are those who went with you, who you are being compared with. That's competition. If you get a job in a workplace today and suddenly your boss leaves, your peers are competing with you for that position. If you start a business and you're selling shea butter in Ghana, there are thousands or hundreds of entrepreneurs doing the same thing. So strategy in the context of competition is a reality. How do we position ourselves so that we have the best possible advantage in the context of our competitive forces? That is what strategy is. It works in life, it works in the workplace, and it works in business. The Strategy Club, in the Strategy Club in Kabila, we have these conversations. and we form the relationships that help us morph as we hit the realities of life and make the adjustments we need to stay on top of our path of advantage. It takes resilience, it takes knowledge, it takes thinking, and established well-known frameworks. I would like you to make a decision in 2025. It is a decision that could change the way you approach life again, whether you are a Christian like me or not. It's a decision to say, how can I embrace the practices, the tools, the mechanisms, the techniques necessary to position myself in a place where I have the greatest possible advantage in my context, whether I am someone just living their lives, a career professional, an entrepreneur, and so forth. It's about taking up a position. And I know you're making your New Year resolution about now, but the truth is, there's hardly anything that will change simply because the calendar changed. I used to tell people that sometimes we treat the year as if we start from January, come all the way down to December, and then we have to take a big jump to go back to January. That is not the way it is. Time is a continuum. Between 31st and 1st, there is no gap. There is no waiting time. There is no pause. There is no interjection for you to, put your act together. You make your decisions, and your decisions start taking effect immediately. So I want you to make a decision today. I want you to type in your browser, whether it's your phone or your laptop or whatever machine you're using, tscafrica.com. tscafrica.com, and join us in the Strategy Club. Let's think together and let's be more intentional about positioning ourselves for success, whatever we define that success as. Whatever we define that success as. Thank you for listening to me. My name is Kenneth Igiri, a strategy coach and the convener of the Strategy Club, Kabila. Have a blessed day and Happy New Year.